Thank you so much, Fernando, for coming on.
No worries, my pleasure. Thank you.
Don't forget to check out Item Pack 2, which is coming out next week. Now we're going to bring up Mass Effect 3 producer Mike Gamble. Mike, come on up. How you feeling today?
Good, really good.
A lot of BCD demos and interviews.
A lot of cool people really interested. A lot of you guys maybe playing the game. We really appreciate all the waiting that you guys have done. It's awesome.
This is your first time in Germany?
Yeah, first time in Germany.
What do you think of Gamescom?
Fucking awesome. Amazing. It's huge.
All right, let's get down to business. You ready to face the firing squad?
The firing squad away.
All right, here we go. I'm going to load up some questions that we saw earlier today so we don't neglect the people who got ahead of the curve.
Sure.
All right, this one's from CJ Thrasher. How different is the gameplay for Mass Effect 3 than what we saw in Mass Effect 1 or Mass Effect 2?
So for Mass Effect 3, we've made a lot of iteration on the cover system. You guys can now move from cover piece to cover piece. That was one of the things that was lacking from Mass Effect 2. We've also really deepened the certain classes a lot more. There's a really deep power progression system that we've added into each of the powers. Now more than ever, your Shepard can kind of be individually yours. So that's the basic high-level focus of what we wanted to do. We bring that forward, and what we try to do is make it the best shooting action game that we can, but at the same time, the most customization that you can possibly get.
Very cool. All right, here's one from Mr. Fantastic.
You better be fantastic.
Reed wants to know, can you give me more info on the robot dog pre-order I get if I buy the collector's edition?
Oh, okay.
I like to call that dog Chewy personally, but I don't think Casey's going to buy that.
No. I mean, he already vetoed that one. So we have the robot dog. Obviously, if you guys pre-order it, this is really
it's
cool.
Collector's edition.
Yes, collector's edition. He's a really cool dog. Basically, hangs out on the Normandy. You and him can interact, and basically him and you kind of do fetch and cool little animations, and he might even follow you around. And I don't want to reveal too much about what potential story ties in he might have, but he's a really cool guy to have on the Normandy.
Follow-up question from D. Silverman EA. Why not Chewy?
Because it's lame.
Oh, thanks, man. All right, here's one from, and we'll talk after. All right, here's one from Dekion, Sean Peace. And there's a lot of people asking this question, so I figured I'll just use him as the spokesman for the thousands of tweets we got about it. Can the default FemShep model, so as you know, we put a bunch of default female Shepards, we let people vote on which one they wanted on Facebook. Yep. They want to know, is there any way that the character creator can actually make those default female Shepards if, say, the one that they voted on didn't happen to get into the final one?
Oh, for sure. I mean, for female Shepard especially, we're really adding a whole bunch of new hairstyles and stuff like that to Mass Effect 3. I think for the most part, you'll be able to recreate the exact female Shepard that you want, even if it isn't the default. So rest assured, you'll be okay.
There you go. And the fans have cheered on Twitter.
Yes, indeed.
All right, this one's from the other Mario C. This is Mario. What's his name?
All right.
He wants to know, will there be an Uber achievement for those who have completed all 3 games with one save rolling over to the next game?
We haven't really locked down the achievements yet, but I think it's a pretty good bet that because we did it in ME2 and because we value the fans who've basically been with us since the beginning, ME1, ME2, something like that is not out of the question at all.
Okay. So Melissa, or Virus Q, wants to know, dear Mass Effect 3 developers, is it just me, or did you add customizable effects to the Omniblade in the new Squad Leader trailer? So I think she's referring to the fact that we showed some gameplay footage of the engineer. He had a different sort of Omniblade attack than the soldier that we've showed previously. How does that work?
That's right. So for each of the 6 classes in Mass Effect, they have a different take on the Omniblade. So some of the classes we've talked about so far, obviously the soldier has a single Omniblade. If you play as the Sentinel, for those of you who've seen, has 2 Omniblades. The engineer kind of has like a pyrotechnic attack, which is really cool. And these can be used differently for different situations. Obviously, for the engineer, it's more of a, you hit him and he kind of burns on the ground for a while, whereas the Sentinel is just a direct and really hard hit. So it does differ depending on the class you use.
All right, there was a follow-up question. I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember reading it. He wanted to know, the Omniblade is cool, but how is it possible for a hologram to stab somebody?
Well, Omni technology is just that awesome. It's just that simple.
That's a good answer. Well played. He likes that answer. Oh, we got a question here from the audience. All right, cool. Go ahead.
Do you have any idea how Tally looks under the helmet? Any plans?
Oh, I have an idea how Tad looks. Oh, I think we all have.
We all have an
you-
idea.
you
I
know
have an
exactly.
idea.
Oh, do you guys? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Play Mass Effect 3. You'll find out.
All right, you got one other question here. Go ahead.
Is it possible to play as a Hanar in your squad?
Is it possible to play as a Hanar? Oh man, that's a good idea for a DLC. All right, there. Not currently, but you know what? We'll talk after about that.
All right, we got one other here from the audience. Why don't you say your name and then your question?
Okay. My name is Oliver, and I don't know if you will answer that one, but we will see about it. So, like in Mass Effect 2, we don't have much contact with characters like Ashley. They like appeared and hello and goodbye, and then they were away. And now I see in 3 we will have her again. So, like, will that happen to characters that you won in Mass Effect 2, like Jack or? I don't know, like, will we see all the characters, or are there someone that will disappear and appear in the DLC? I don't know.
So I think in general, what we want to do for Mass Effect 3 is make sure that we satisfy kind of everyone's wantingness to conclude the relationships, to conclude the character arcs. And because of that, we're going to do satisfying conclusions to all of them. You know, they're not just going to be basically cursory things. And there's going to be a lot of backstory as to how the characters got it, what they were doing in Mass Effect 3 and what they were doing in Mass Effect 2. You know, for example, Ashley used, you know, there's a lot of backstory in terms of where she came from and where she was in Mass Effect 2. So we're definitely going to do the really good treatment on each of the characters, so don't worry about it.
All right, here we got a question here from Twitter from James Perry. Essentially, he wants to know, tell us a little bit more about the Connect feature. How large a part will Connect feature in Mass Effect 3?
So Connect is one of those things that we feel works really well with the way Mass Effect plays. I mean, we're not using the motion controls. Those are better suited for other games. We are using the voice recognition system. You know, what it allows you to do is basically keep your eye on the action and, you know, not have to manually tell the characters where to go and what to cast. You can just speak that. I also think it really actually works well with the conversation system. As you guys know, when you're playing Mass Effect, you don't exactly speak the words that Shepard exactly says. You speak certain words on the screen. Shepard basically paraphrases it. So based on that, you know, the disconnect is going to be very, very slight, and it actually works quite well.
All right, here we go. Question from... sorry, hang on. Having user error here.
User error, all right.
All right, here we go. This one is from Ollie JWM. He wants to know, will the inventory system from Mass Effect 1 return to Mass Effect 3?
No, unfortunately, we're not going to bring the inventory system into Mass Effect 3, but, you know, that said, there's still a very deep level of, like, weapon customization you can do. I mean, your weapons obviously exist on the Normandy, you can swap them out, and we want the weapons to basically operate within their own little custom set. So no inventory, but there's still a lot more RPG-type elements that we can bring in.
Why don't you talk a little bit about the weapon bench and how that works?
So yeah, if you guys have played the game or played inside, the weapon bench is, you know, more or less a place you can, you know, throw down your weapon and put some mods on it. It'll basically change, you know, various statistics, but it'll also change the look and how your weapon acts. So, you know, be able to add accuracy, damage, and those things will actually be reflected in the actual character model, or rather the weapon model in the game. So it's really kind of a cool thing to make your Shepard look different as well.
All right, here's a question from Sprocker21. He wants to know what improvements have been made to mining, and also are we going to see more YAG?
YAG? Okay, all right.
Maybe
I think he means YOG, so that's what the Shadow Broker is. Yeah, you'll see more YOG. Where and what, you know, we're not going to talk about, but the mining will definitely. So I think to go back, the reason we had the mining is because we wanted to make exploration kind of a priority in Mass Effect, and we still think that's really important. So we want to do that. Whether it's with mining or not, we still haven't really decided, and we, you know, don't want to talk about it too much. But, you know, I think if we had to give an answer today, mining is not going to be the same it was in Mass Effect 3 or anything like it than it was in Mass Effect 2. We always want to change things up, make things interesting.
All right, here's one from Rich Arrington. He would like to know, will we need to gain loyalty of characters in Mass Effect 3 like we had to do in Mass Effect 2?
Not necessarily. I mean, the scope of Mass Effect 3 has changed in terms of what's important. So Mass Effect 3, you know, the Reapers have arrived, and it's the galaxy at war. So gaining the loyalty of individual characters, while important, is probably not the most important things when Reapers are destroying your city. So it's about getting the loyalty and the backing of civilizations and resolving a lot of the plots that were outstanding. And that's basically going to feed into the main story thread.
All right. There's one from CLST029. They would like to know, Stephanie is her name.
All right.
She would like to know, I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit just to kind of clean up the translation here. So basically, you say that Mass Effect 3 is an RPG, but everything I'm seeing is more action-oriented. Where's my RPG?
Right. So you have to have hands-on with it. You really do. You got to get into it. You got to open up the squad menu. You have to progress through the powers. You have to basically mess with, the different characters and how they can be actually changed. You have to actually be able to play through various different classes at the same time. And you know what? You have to also have a lot of hands-on with the weapons bench, and those are kind of the tenets around the RPG system. And you really have to play with it to notice the true depth that you can actually get out of it.
All right, here's a question from Kyle Pett. Kyle Pett, he would like to know, how are experience gains going to work in Mass Effect 1? Or are they going to be like Mass Effect 2?
Sorry, one more time? How are experienced...
Like, how do you gain experience?
Oh, okay. So, experience will still come from, normal combat. We like to take it back to basically, sort of the way it was in Mass Effect 1. Not exactly, but we're not going to do kind of the mission summary that we did in Mass Effect 2. We're moving a little bit away from that, but, not too much to announce right now in terms of the details of that.
All right. One guy's upset that I'm not answering his questions, so I'm sorry.
Maybe you want to answer his question then.
I have to look and see what his question was, because I don't see it on here right now. But I'll pick yours, buddy. Don't worry. Wherever you are, I will find your question. All right. So here's one from Wet Nasty. So he had some Dragon Age questions.
Right.
He wants some Mass Effect ones. Obviously, he's a BioWare fan.
BioWare fan, yep.
Will you be able to decide the fate of all of your squad members, or will there be deaths that are inevitable? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you know what? You may or may not. I mean, some things are inevitable. This is a war, and the Reapers are pretty nasty, and they're destroying a lot of stuff. So you may be able to prevent some, but some things may be inevitable, and some things you may not mean to happen, but end up happening anyway.
All right. I'm trying to find this one guy's question because clearly he's upset.
Clearly, we want to keep people happy.
Let's see if this thing loads. In the meantime, any questions from the audience? If you have a question, raise your hand.
Oh, right here.
Question from Michael. Here we go.
What about the Mass Effect 2 DLC characters? Did they coming back in Mass Effect 3?
Absolutely. So, Zaid, Kasumi, we're bringing them back. They might not be squad members, but they're going to be there. You get a chance to talk to them. There's a lot more going on than you might think there.
All right, I got his question, but it looks like he was talking about his friend, but I don't know what his friend's name is, so that's going to make it difficult.
Well.
But anyway, his question is, I love Tali, can I marry her?
Sure.
Maybe, can you marry her in Mass Effect?
No, you can do other things, but... Yeah.
All right, I'm going to load his friends now. It looks like he gave me his friend's name.
You're digging deep for that one, aren't you? Yeah.
I want to service the fans. We're all about helping the fans out. This guy's clearly not happy. We don't want to have no unhappy people here. Plus, he's from Toronto, so you got to give love and respect to the Canadians. So let's see, what do we got here? All right, any other questions from the audience while I find the friend? All right, let's go, right here.
Will there be more banter between the squad mates?
Will there be more banter between the squad mates?
Yeah, actually, there's going to be a lot more. We've narrowed down the number of squad mates from Mass Effect 2. We've basically focused it on a tighter group. Because of that, it's basically given us the opportunity to do a lot more in-context banter between one another. They comment on the level events a lot more. So, yeah, for sure.
I'm looking at this guy's tweets, and all I see is stuff about cricket and being a good day to die. So Tristan X, I'm not seeing it, but I tried. You got to give me points for that.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the general feed here. Remember, post your questions to @biofeed, and we will answer them on the air. So, all right, here we go. You kind of answer this, but maybe a little bit more context. This one's from Rebecca Degnan. She wants to know, squad interaction will be a big part of the game. Obviously, you just said that. but will there be more stories or missions for the squad as well as romance options? He wants more substance than just sleeping around the Normandy.
Yeah, for sure. So again, with that, we've reduced the squad member number down a bit. It's given us a lot of opportunity to kind of branch out the romances, branch out the dialogues a lot more. And there are some specific missions currently slated, for developing the relationships more within your squad members. So yeah, for sure.
All right, we have 2 questions actually about the Kinect stuff, which are sort of related, so I'm just going to combine them together. One person wants to know, if you don't have Kinect, can you use voice recognition on the Xbox? And kind of the same question, if you have the PC, obviously they don't have Kinect for PC, so does voice recognition work for that?
Right. So in order to use the system, you have to have a Kinect box. The voice recognition system in the Kinect is unique to that hardware. And because of that, we need to actually have the physical box. You can't just use a mic. You can't just use it on PC as well.
Here's a comment for you, Mike.
All right.
There you go. This one's from Armor of Faith. I personally like the new inventory system and other things new to Mass Effect 3. Good job, y'all.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Here's one from N7 Veselka. Sorry. Can you put a sniper scope on an assault rifle? He's talking about the weapon bench, I'm guessing.
Yes. You know what? We haven't actually tweaked a lot of what's going to happen to the assault rifle in terms of the weapon bench. Right now it's mostly around damage and accuracy and things like that. But that's quite an interesting proposition for real.
All right, here's a question from the elusive Soa. And I'm going to paraphrase this question, make it a little less harsh. But basically, he wants to know, endgame-wise, like after I beat Mass Effect 2, kind of felt like it was over. Is there going to be stuff to do after I beat Mass Effect 3?
So, I don't want to give away the ending of Mass Effect 3. That would kind of suck to do right now. No, I'm just not even going to go there. You can do New Game Plus. That's going to be in as a system. So you'll be able to bring your character back through the game. But what happens at the end of Mass Effect 3 has a sense of closure. So.
All right, this guy's posted his question like 5 times, so I feel like it's my obligation to read it. This one's from Necrolock. If you don't wake Grunt in Mass Effect 2, will he count as dead in Mass Effect 3, or can you, donate him to study?
I don't know. No, he's either alive or he's either dead. I mean, if he's alive, he's in it. If he's not, well, he's dead.
All right. Okay. Will there be a Mass Effect SDK after Mass Effect 3 is out? This is from Peter MJ.
A Mass Effect
SDK. I think like a mod creator.
No.
Yeah.
No, normally we base our engine on, we base Mass Effect on the amazing Unreal Engine, and because of that, there's really no SDK that provides support for the 316, stuff like that.
All right, well, that's kind of all the time we have today. I'm getting the hook. So I'd like to thank you guys. Be sure to come back here tomorrow at 6:15. We'll have Fernando coming back. We'll also have Mike Gamble. Before we go, I'm going to have, this is a request from Justa Emmy Filler. She wants you to say, I have to go.
Excuse me?
Just say, I have to go.
Okay, then go.
Just say it. I have to go.
I have to go.
There you go. Get your wishes answered. Thank you, everybody. For Byron Pulse, I'm David Silver, reminding you guys we have a fun-filled episode tomorrow at 10 a.m. Be sure to vote for your favorite female shepherd at facebook.com/Mass Effect. See you guys later. Keep your fingers on the pulse.